Hey, CYBL Nation, welcome back to another CYBL Today podcast. I'm here, Daniel, with co-host Alan. Alan, how are you feeling at this point in the season as the playoff picture is really coming into form now? What are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, man. It's been a wild season. A lot of unexpected kind of things happened. I think last week was had to have been the most intense week yet. Like as we're closing in on the playoffs, the Angels win their first game of the season. And what a
Crazy.
win that was.
Yeah,
Man, that was a
yeah,
battle between the at the time, the Flames were the top, right? The
yeah,
top team.
yeah.
So that was quite a gutsy win, and they keep their playoffs hopes alive, right?
I know, it's incredible. That was a great game. I think Jordan Cuban on the
Mm-hmm.
Angels, just like his leadership that game, he took charge. It was almost like a we're not going to lose, like
Mm-hmm.
at any cost.
Yeah.
And so he laid it all on the line, and like I mean, with the supporting cast, dude, they were all just like locked. This was probably the most locked in as a team I've seen them all
Mm.
season. To actually like that's the thing I love when things like this happen in CYBL. When teams like this just come together, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? You know what I mean? Because like especially because when you look at the situation looked hopeless. 4 game losing streak
Yeah.
going up against the reigning champions, the Flames. You know, it doesn't look good. But then they come together and they pull out the victory over the Flames, and you just go like, wow, this this could actually like no team is yet in CYBL history to go a season where they didn't win a game.
Wow. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I was
yeah,
stoked for them, man, and I think like Achilles played great. Like
hmm,
he had a fantastic game. Michael
oh yeah,
played fantastic. It just
yeah,
the whole team was really Ryder, all of them.
yeah.
They were all making such a great effort, and it was just fun to watch. It was fun to see them not give up, and they could have, right? They could have just
They
went,
could have.
you know what, we're not like just given up hope and been like, we're not going to make the playoffs. But at this point, they still have hope. They
They still
they
have hope.
they could do this, and it all kind of comes down to how the Strikers and Rams game
Hmm,
goes.
hmm.
And I don't know, yeah, and obviously their game as well. They play the
Yeah.
Lions once again, the
Wow.
top team in the league now. So it'll be interesting, man. It'll be
That will
interesting
be
to see
very
if they pull that off.
wow. That will be very interesting because like now you're having like the playoff picture has been kind of revealed
Mm,
up today, and so you can actually see if the playoffs were to start today, what would look like.
they-
So we could just, if we do a little bit of imagination here for a moment and just think about
sure,
this,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know, if the playoffs were to start today, the Lions would play the Strikers in the first round, and the Eagles would play the Warriors. My goodness, the
Mm.
Warriors are sitting in the seventh seed, which
It's so weird. It doesn't feel right for the quality of a
no,
team that they are. I feel
they
like it
just
just
went to the
hasn't.
finals.
I know it just doesn't feel right. I don't think it's like I think they just had a few unfortunate games, but I
Hmm.
don't think it speaks about the team that they are and the
No.
amount of talent that's on that team.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I mean, you also got to look at kind of like, I feel like they started off really strong, but then
Mm,
somewhere along the lines there, they've just slowed, they've lost energy, they've lost momentum, they've lost, I
mm,
don't know what's happening, lost drive or something. And so
right.
I think if there's a time for them to pick it up, it's now because they've put themselves in a kind of a hard situation currently
Yeah.
if the playoffs were to start today.
Yeah, man. No, for sure. They've got to come together a bit better here, but I don't know. There's still they're still a strong team.
They are.
I don't think like the Eagles Warriors game, man, that would be a wild game. That I feel like
Wow.
all these games would be intense
Yeah.
to watch. The Flames and the Knights would be another great matchup.
Hmm.
Like, the
Hmm.
doubleheader they had, they split them one
Oh my
apiece.
goodness. Yeah, that would be something to watch.
Man, I'd love that. And then a rematch between us. Well, that was a close one.
That was a real close one. I think it'll be really interesting to see if like we were to play each other in the first round of the playoffs. Though I wouldn't want to play you in the first round
No,
of the playoffs. I want to play you deeper down the road. But if we had
yeah,
to, I think that that would be a game for the ages. I found that like almost all of our like first round playoff matchups end up being like incredible game, like just incredible
yeah.
games. I don't know if you've realized that,
Oh
but
yeah. I always find the first round, it's almost like everyone brings their best in the first round,
mhm.
and then the semifinals as well. Like I really
Yeah,
feel that.
semifinals.
And then sometimes for some reason our finals games like just tend to be like blowouts. I don't know if it's like the energy level was just so high, and they can only maintain it for so long, and then it like plummets, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
but no, I think like it will be exciting to see kind of what happens. There's only 2 games left of the
yeah.
season.
There is
For some teams, there's only one, right?
one.
Like
Yeah,
the
True
Lions
North's got
only
one. You guys have one.
we have one. This is their last game this week, right? And
Flames
same
have
as the
one.
Angels.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's a lot. And so here's a question for you. What do you think was the best CYBO finals? If you had to go and you just talked about like from all of like CYBO history to now, like all the CYBO finals, what which one stands on top for you?
Man, it's funny because like all that comes to mind really is like when you think about like the playoffs is like
Hmm.
more of the preliminary games. Like all I can think of is like our game was the Strikers where, Josh hit that ball back in. It was like 1 second
It's
left to
crazy.
go, like or Nathan Lanning hitting that iconic shot in the corner. It's stuff like that that like kind of comes to mind when I think of the
Yeah,
playoffs, just
yeah, yeah,
because I think about the finals and I think there's been too many blowouts in the
yeah.
finals, like so many of them have turned out that way. I don't know, like I think
Yeah.
our game was good. It was what, like 5 points, like when it was the
Ours,
Lions.
ours is good. Ours
Yeah,
is good. No, it's close
like it was back
most
and
of the time.
forth. I mean, at half, I think we had tied it up or something. Or
Yeah, it was a tie game.
yeah,
That
yeah,
was a good game.
that was a
That's
great
good.
game.
That was a great finals.
That's the only one like I really remember being very close. Or you guys, True North and the Knights. That one was a bit of a
Mm,
close one as well, right?
true. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go back in history here for you because this
Okay.
is the one. This is the one that I think was the best one actually. The now
No.
dissolved Giants versus the Lions.
Uh,
That playoff series was crazy, man. That finals,
no.
2 point game, two
That's
point game.
ridiculous. That
That's
game
why
was
you
the worst
forgot. That's
game.
why you
Oh
forgot.
no, I knew about that one. I refuse to think that was a good game. That was a horrendous game. Like that was just, man, that was poor, poor, poor. Like
Hey, well, guys, you tell us what you think. You tell us what you think the best CYBO finals was, because obviously this is a when you have some better ones. That's what it sounds like.
I feel this year is going to be a good. I don't know why. I just have a feeling like looking at the teams, looking at how many teams are 3-2 right now.
That's incredible.
And,
Yeah.
and even like we were just saying, if the Knights win against the Eagles this Friday, that will make 2 more teams 3-2, right?
Wow.
That'll put the
That's
Knights at three and
insane.
two, the Eagles, so
That's
that'll be one,
insane.
two, three, four, 5 teams at 3-2.
Wow.
That's pretty wild, man. Like that means it's
Wow.
pretty evenly.
It's pretty even.
Yeah. So I don't think it's like I'm looking at any team like they've got a clear run at it. Even the Lions, I really don't like. I know they're 4-1 currently, but I
Hmm.
really feel they are a beatable team.
Mm.
I think we had a lapse when we played them. Like we
We
just,
lost by 1 point.
yeah, exactly. I think they're a great team, but I don't think
Mhm.
they are unbeatable, right? So
Mhm.
I do feel like every team has their weaknesses and their strengths, and I think it's going to be a good playoffs. I
Yeah.
don't feel there's going to be blowouts in
Yeah.
maybe one game, but I
Mhm.
don't feel like there's going to be multiples. I feel like it's going to be a very competitive playoffs this season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, like, to be honest with you, like, I know that the Zach's got to be feeling good right now. Like, to have a Lions to you in first place for the first time in a while. Like,
yeah.
I actually don't remember the last round where the Lions were in first place. Like,
Hey,
it's
whoa, whoa! It's only
been a
been
while.
it hasn't been that long. It's only been a
It's been
while for
ages. It's been
Zach.
ages. It's been ages.
Man, it was only last 2 seasons ago. My
I
team
know. I'm playing with you,
demolished the league.
man. I'm playing with you, bro.
Man,
Oh,
we
goodness.
only had one loss. What a
You
man.
almost lost to the Strikers though. That game would have
Yeah,
turned
that was
things.
a close game. That
That
was a
was
close game.
like if Sushi doesn't hit that,
Was Sushi.
if
Gotta
he
love
doesn't hit
Sushi,
that,
man.
yeah, I love Sushi. If
I
he
love
doesn't hit
Sushi.
that, that's a different game.
I know it goes into
It
overtime,
goes to
right?
overtime, and who knows what could happen.
Yeah. Yeah,
You have
no, for
no
sure.
idea.
It's probably what you're probably thinking is it's been a while that Zach's been on a
It's a,
Lions team
yeah,
that has been in first place because it
yeah,
has been. Like
yeah.
for the many seasons I had Zach and the Lions and we just couldn't seem to get like we were always kind of up there but never first. So yeah, he must be feeling good and funny enough, you know what? He's averaging 15 points a game, so it's not like
It's true.
he's
That's
having
true.
to pull all the weight. There's a lot
Hmm.
of great supporting cast there.
Hmm.
I really like that team, man. I
Yeah,
think I think
yeah.
they have
It's
a
a good
good
team.
deep run as well. So,
Hmm. I mean, and it brings up the GOAT conversation. What's that?
oh,
It brings it up
man,
again. It's real.
that's a revolving door, man. That
It's
that door,
a,
you could go in that door any day. You know, like it's pretty good. But
it's
yeah, I
true.
know.
It's true.
But those two are spectacular. So, I
You know
think
who's coming into that conversation? Sorry, I interrupted you.
yeah, yeah. Go.
Who's coming into that conversation? Nathan Lanning is
He's
he's
paving
making
his
his way.
way.
He's
He's
making his way.
paving
He's
his
making his way.
way. I
Yeah,
know.
yeah, he's making his way right into that conversation. I think that, I mean, with a season like this, sure, like obviously Aiden is being Aiden, but
Hmm.
like behind, other than him, like this guy is putting up numbers and like
Mm,
not only putting up numbers because sure that's one thing, but he's also keeping his team on top of the standings. So like
yeah.
looking at that, they're like, are you gonna repeat this season? Is there a repeat in store for the Flames?
Man, if there is, like, and I think that's kind of where Nathan will be more in the conversation, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Because yeah, like that's something like he could do, right? If they do a repeat
Hmm.
and he's still got a whole nother year, right? Like
He's wow.
I
It's
know,
crazy to
like
think about.
Aiden and Zach, this is, they've got 3 seasons left. Well, not even two and a bit now, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
they really to
Wow. Wow.
to
It's crazy. Time's going fast.
put their name in the ballot, like
Hmm.
to be the greatest of all time at CYBL. They
Yeah.
don't got much time left, right?
No.
I mean, yeah, it's going to come down to what did you do
Hmm.
in the season, and then
Hmm.
how did you do in playoffs, right? And
Yeah.
what was
Yeah.
your
Yeah. Yeah.
track record? So, I mean, right now, I think obviously Aiden's at the top of that list, but
Yeah.
this could be Zach's season to finally
Could be. Yeah.
win a championship, right? And
It really could be.
yeah.
And on like without Cole,
Yes, exactly. For
without
sure.
Cole,
Yeah.
because that's the real conversation here. Is we know
Yeah.
he's won with Cole, but can he win without Cole?
Yeah.
It's kind of
Yeah.
like this Shaq and Kobe conversation.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
It's kind of
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
So let's see what happens now. But the next question I wanted to bring up here, as we're flowing right now, is just out of all of the teams right now sitting at the bottom of the standings, which one of them do you think, first of all, in your mind, makes the playoffs? But which one of them has the best underdog chance once they make it to the playoffs?
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
I like I would love to see the Angels. Okay. This
Mm,
is just my
hmm.
heart. I'd love to see
Yeah.
the Angels make it.
Yes.
I would
Yes.
love to see and just to break it down for everyone, the only way the Angels make it, okay, they have to win, and hopefully a considerable win, right? Like that
Yeah.
would be in their best interest to win by like 10 points. The Rams need to beat the Strikers, okay? Because the only way the Angels make it is a point differential thing. So
Hmm.
the Rams need to beat the Strikers, and then the Rams need to lose their next game, which I believe is the Flames. And the Rams need to be blown out, like absolutely blown out. Because currently the Angels are sitting 20-point differential behind the Rams, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and the Strikers need to lose again. So the Strikers need to lose this week and
Yeah.
next week.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's the only way the Angels make it. Is that really
Literally a
real?
miracle.
Yeah,
Literally a
is that
miracle.
realistic? Not really. Is it a miracle type thing, which would be awesome? Yes. And then
Would
would
be.
the Angels have like a shot as an underdog? I think that's a shot. Like I
Hmm.
definitely think
Hmm.
they might have momentum from that. Like
Yeah.
2 wins against the two best teams, and you had a miracle happen for you just to make it to the playoffs.
Like that confidence would be off the
Unreal.
charts.
Like, and their team brings so much energy that I think
Yeah.
they could
Their
will
fan base
themselves.
does.
Yes, I know. It's unbelievable. So whether that's realistic, I don't think so.
Hmm.
Realistically, the strikers make it, and I think they could pull together.
Hmm.
They could maybe make a run in the playoffs. Do I actually see them making it far? No.
You're saying semis kind of thing?
Yeah, maybe semis is the
Okay.
furthest I see them going.
Okay. Could they
And
win
then
third?
yeah, the
Is that
third
on the
would
books?
yeah, third's far for me, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
maybe even fourth, like, I don't
Hmm.
know. But
Hmm.
yeah, I just and then the other teams I don't see any of them as underdogs. I don't see, just because everyone else has already had 2 wins under their belt, like the
What about the
Warriors.
Rams?
The Rams, they really would need something special to spark them again. They don't
Hmm.
look alive, and I think
They
maybe
started
just
off well.
they started off well, yeah. I just they need something to spark them, right?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, yeah.
They do.
So I don't know. That's how I'm seeing it. What are you
Yeah,
thinking
yeah,
on that?
yeah. Well, I mean, like you got a point, and I think when I look at the underdogs, because I mean, if we really look at like teams right now in terms of standings, because
Mm-hmm.
to be honest, I think all these teams have a level of talent that they could do something, but in terms of like what the team coming together and
Yeah,
and actually seeing that, like in terms of standings right now, you got strikers, Rams, Angels. And I think if I had to say which team has the best chance as the underdog out of those three teams, I mean, again, on a realistically, like,
yeah,
here's the thing: if the Angels got off to a little bit of a better start in the season, like,
yes.
I think like they would be the team out of
Mm-hmm.
all those three teams that I would talk about. At the same time, I have to think the Rams actually beat them in the regular. Excuse
Mm.
me,
Wow,
they beat them in the regular season
wow,
pretty intensely. I think we forgot about that. And
great.
so if there's a sleeper team, in my opinion, that could awaken, it's the Rams. I'm looking at them and saying they just need to awaken. I think they're sleeping right now. And if they
Mm.
come awake, they could go on a tremendous run just because I look at their team like they're a very talented team.
Yeah.
They just need to come together, especially defensively, because when you look at like
Oh yeah.
essentially defensively in their point differential, like they're sitting 9 to 140. It's defensively has been a struggle for them this season, and I think that if they can pick that up, like that's where I could see the difference happening, the
Right.
change happening, because they got a lot of pieces that can come together. But that's what I would say.
Yeah.
I could see Rams make, and actually, my take is because this is gonna be a hot take is I think if the Rams end up making the playoffs, I think they could. I think they could take the Lions out. I
Wow.
think I think they could
Wow.
take the Lions out. That's a hot
Wow.
take, but
Okay.
I think if the Rams can make the playoffs, I think they could take
Wow.
the Lions out. I think that you're gonna see.
Man.
I think you'll see them go
Wow.
to another
That
level.
is like that
Yeah,
is
yeah.
wow. I am
I'm
in
looking at.
complete disagreement.
Hey, hey, it's all good. That's why
Yeah.
we're here.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Wow.
I'm looking at it and I'm saying if they can make the playoffs, I could see them rise to the challenge. I could see, if Kingston can pick it up and play like he started off the season. I know he was injured though, so like I can't put too much on that because he was injured. But if he comes back healthy, him, Ethan, oh, I can't remember the other one's name. Sugden, I think his name is
Yeah, Adam Sugden. Yep.
Adam Sugden. That him as well. Like they actually do have quite a few pieces. I feel like if they can come together at the right
Yeah.
moment, it could do some damage if the
Yeah.
team's not watching. And I think the Lions could be up for that. I think,
You think they're gonna pull off a Knights of 2 seasons ago, right?
yeah,
The
I think
last
it can
place
be done.
team going all the way to the finals kind of
I,
thing.
yeah, I could see it happen. Not maybe not to the finals because I think
Mm.
they need a little more. I just think I could see them upsetting one of those
Yeah.
upper top seed teams like a Lions team if they
Wow.
got in there. I could see it happening.
Wow. That's wild.
Yeah,
That is
yeah, yeah.
wild.
So that's my take, anyway.
Yeah. No, that's good. I like
Yeah,
it. I
yeah.
like it. Yeah.
It's gotta be. I'm coming out the gates bold with it right now, so
Oh
that's
wow. Yeah.
you know.
No. I'm shocked actually. So yeah, no, it's cool, man. It's cool.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, I think so far this season is it's been pretty crazy. Like just seeing, I guess the level of just just balance between so many teams in the
Hmm.
league, um and like if you had to right now, if you had to motivate one team that you think is not playing up to the standard that we would like them to see them play, what team would that be?
Oh man, I think wow. I think just like the Angels have finally they clicked into what they needed to be
Hmm.
doing the whole
Yeah,
time, right? That's what they need to be doing the whole time. They
yeah.
need to work as a team, work as a family, work as a unit, right? So
Hmm.
I'm happy
Hmm.
to see that. The Rams, I think for me, is the most heartbreaking
Hmm.
team right now. They just too much individual stuff. It's not, it's not like,
Hmm.
hey, okay, I'm gonna play point guard. You play down low. Let's do a give and go. Let's, like
Hmm.
communicate some stuff or like try something. Don't just give up on one another. Like I
Hmm.
see a lot of like,
Hmm.
discouragement when someone else loses the ball, and it's like, hey, like you can't play like that. You
Yeah,
need to be helping your teammates like
yeah.
stay in the game. You need to be helping them, encouraging them. And I think for the Rams, I see that. Strikers, I feel like, you know, Rim and Jaden have got pretty good attitudes. I don't think there's anything wrong there. I think they just need to come together as a team. They need to figure it out a bit better as far as like what they're doing, ball movement a bit, because they've got a lot of good pieces as well. I just don't think they're being utilized right now.
That's true. Like, let's take a look at like, remember what last season we saw players like Eddie T and do, or we
Mm-hmm.
saw players like, oh my goodness, like
Adamo.
Gap Adamo,
Yeah.
players like Adamo, what we saw him do. You know what I mean? I don't know who else they're missing, but like
Yeah, I mean,
they've had a few
Mitab.
missing pieces too. Yeah,
Yeah,
Matab as well.
yeah. And I think like who's been looking better and better is Austin Gregory. Like he's been doing a lot
Yeah,
better.
yeah.
So I don't, yeah, no, they're just the ball is not moving around enough, right?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
you've got Adamo, he's sitting at like 6 points per game, right? Which is
Hmm.
pretty good, but I like last game I barely seen him get the ball, right?
Yeah.
So if he's not getting the ball and he's not getting you those 6 points per game, well, you're already at a disadvantage, right? Like you need those 6 points.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah,
And
exactly.
like because between Riem and Jaden, they're averaging 23, right? That's not going to be good enough. You need to
Mhm.
use the pieces you have,
You
right?
need the
So
pieces around. Yeah.
yeah, so
That's a good encouragement, I think. I think
yeah,
it's good encouragement just in CYO in general. But like, I
yeah,
think it's for a team like the Strikers, I think that's timely, especially because they have two pivotal games coming up that could change
huge.
their entire season.
Yeah, it
It
decides
could
whether
change
they're
their
going to
entire
make
season.
it or not,
Oh my
right? Like
goodness, yeah.
yeah,
They could even move to like middle of the pack.
wow, they could. Yeah, it's true.
Like that's what we're talking about here. Like these two wins could literally change their entire season. Like
Wow.
it's that wild right now for them.
Mm, yeah, no, that's good. That's a good point.
I think looking at that and just seeing, yeah, like I think that these two games they lock in, they focus on team play
Hmm.
instead of like individual play, and that's where it's going to come down. So
Right.
that's good, and that's the team that I would say too. If I was to talk about a team that I think needs to, if a team that I saw isn't living up to the potential that is set before them, I think it's that team
Right.
that I think we could see out of them. So that's good, bro. That's good.
Yeah.
Moving into next topic, I want to talk about now. We've got some of the All-Star games on the horizon
Okay.
now, and so this means that the All-Star conversation is beginning to rise. All-Star votes are going to open up next week. A lot of those things, but who for you is a player that would be a standout that you think should be in the All-Star conversation that hasn't been before?
Has Abby ever been an All-Star?
No,
She's never been an All-Star.
never been an All-Star.
I think she's definitely deserving this season.
Yeah, yeah, I
She
agree.
has been playing incredible. I mean, her shooting has just been absolutely on point.
Hmm.
right? Yeah, I don't know. She's definitely one for me that like she's definitely deserving to be in that talk,
Hmm.
right? That conversation.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
what is she? Like I feel like she's
It's a great question.
yeah.
Let me take a look at that.
Has Parker ever been in an All-Star yet? With last season, maybe?
I think he was. I think he was one season. I can't.
Right.
I think it was one season. I think it was last season. If I'm
Mm,
not mistaken. Yeah. So
yeah.
he was an All-Star for the first time.
Yeah, but he's definitely had an outstanding
Oh
season
man,
as well, right?
he's moved. I think you guys are looking at him in like the most improved player
Yes,
conversation like that. That's the level to which like he's been playing. It's like
right. No, yeah,
that's
it's been fantastic.
yeah.
That's been great to see from him. Yeah, she's on the second page. I mean, she's averaging 5.5 points per game there. So, I mean,
That's around like that all-star caliber. Like I
yeah.
think once you start getting around that 5, 6, 7 points, like you
Mm,
start entering the all-star conversation.
right.
Oh, and it's gonna
Yeah.
be a little different this season who the all-stars are because it's gonna be divisions versus each other, right?
Wow, I like that. That'll be
So
fun.
that's gonna be fun. I'm actually excited to see that played out. Because it's gonna be a lot different than like what we're used to seeing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. No, that's cool. I'm excited. Yeah, and I definitely think she's deserving to be in there this
I agree.
season. I don't feel like that points per game stat really even did it justice. Just
No, I don't think so.
I just think like the shots she's taking are just like she may not take a lot, I guess, but
Hmm.
when she does shoot, it's always a killer moment, and it's just
Yeah,
and it seems to at least 80% of the time it's going in, right? So yeah, her shot percentage is fantastic.
she is. It's unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable. And I think like when I look across True North, my
Mm,
team, and like teams, like players that are leaders on a team, like she's turned into one. Like
mm,
it really is like she's starting to really turn into a leader and take that on and like begin to be more, I guess the word would be just assertive and
mm.
confident.
Nice.
And so that's something I'd like to see too. Obviously you got Liam, you got Ali, and then you got Keel, but now you start talking about Abby, like, in that too. And so
Yeah.
I definitely think Nick she's a player. Any other players you would say you think could be in that conversation?
Yeah, I mean, I like Jaden Sarubi. I mean, I know he's a rookie to the league, but yeah, that's the man. He's had a good season there on the Eagles, and I mean, I think a lot of the Eagles. I don't know, like I don't know that Cole Watson was on this
Hmm.
was an All Star last season, but he's playing really good as well. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they're
It's true.
they're like a lot of the guys on the Eagles team are really good, right? Like you've got
Yeah.
Sebastian Cole,
Averaging
Jade.
7 points. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Like it's just like Parker, like they're all up there,
Wow.
that team moves the ball
Goodness.
so well. They're
Goodness.
all around the 7 points per
Yeah,
game mark.
that's
You know what I
actually
mean?
impressive. I'm looking at that right
Yeah, I know.
now.
It's
Very
not like
impressive.
you just shut down one player and you're good. It's like you have to shut down the team. You got to play good defense against them. So yeah, I'm impressed by that team, and I
That's
think
very impressive.
a lot of those guys are going to be in the All Star conversation for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's gonna be incredible, bro.
Yeah,
It's
it'll be
gonna be
fun. I like the divisions. The divisions will be
yeah.
cool. That'll be kind of fun.
It'll bring a whole different kind of touch to how it looks when
Yeah,
you have divisions playing because now you can see, okay, who's the best of both divisions, the
yeah.
top performers from both divisions going against each other, and then you just ask yourself, okay, who's the top division? Now,
Mm,
statistically, it looks like that's what the Destiny division. You
yes.
guys, yeah, it's a Destiny division. It statistically looks like it's a Destiny division, but we'll have to see when it actually all comes down to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, for sure.
It'll be
Yeah,
fun, man.
it'll be good. Yeah, that'll be a good time. But
Yeah. Now going into some personal awards because we got obviously the awards starting to rise
mm,
up now, and we got these conversations. And so one of the new awards we've been said the only new award we've been stated so far. I haven't even told you this yet.
wow.
This is the Clutch Player of the Season award. So
Okay.
that's our newest award so far. When you look right now at like teams in the league, who would you say are some clutch performers? Now, it doesn't have to be just buzzer beaters, but it could be at the end of games, like that last like 2 minutes of the game, performing on the top of the game.
Oh man, I mean, Nathan Lanning, just incredible. Aiden, incredible. I'm trying to think of like some of the other teams here, like the Warriors. I mean, I don't want to let it skew my view there, but I feel
Hmm.
Ashton's been good. The
Hmm.
last game wasn't the greatest for them, but I think
Yeah.
he has been very consistent and very
Yeah.
good, and he finishes strong on the games.
I agree with
Liam,
that. I agree with
Liam just he went off on us, right? But yeah, man, I just trying to think. You got any on the top of your mind or what?
that. Other than those names that you said, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for some other names here. I
Yeah.
would probably say, probably like a player like Riom. I think Riom would be in the conversation, watching the way he plays at the end of games.
Mm,
I mean, if you think about the way they came back at the end of that game, even though they were losing by a lot more than six,
mm-hmm.
they brought
Yeah.
the game within 6 points. So he would be one to talk about. Um, uh, Other than that, that's actually that's a good conversation to have. I think we gotta have,
Yeah, that
and
one's gonna
all
be interesting. I,
it's
I
gonna be
actually don't
interesting
know.
because we're forgetting about the Knights, but then because then you've got I don't know, was we talking about
Dante's just been having
Dante
an unreal season, just absolutely
in
unreal. But like, I wouldn't put him in
in the
clutch.
clutch?
I wouldn't
I'd
put
say
him in the
Ethan. I would
clutch.
almost say Ethan. I think Ethan May has been a bit more clutch if I had to look like in the end of the games, anyways.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, as far as a player goes, like, I mean, Dante's just been
Yeah,
like
Dante's
he's putting himself in the MVP conversation.
goodness.
Like, I
Yeah,
mean, 20 points per game right now. Like that's what he's averaging. That's
it's
just
incredible.
unreal for him. Like, I think that's what we've always expected from
Yeah,
him. And to
his
see him
breakout
actually
season.
doing it is just like it's so much fun to watch,
I
and I'm
know.
happy for that team that
Me
they're
too.
really
Me too.
they're looking strong. Honestly, I think the Knights may be more of that underdog type team that you're not expecting to just, be one of the top teams just because where they're sitting in the standings, but they are just
Yeah.
incredible.
Well, that would be quite the story for a Dante who is on the end of
Yes.
his CYBL journey career here. And like if he is able to finish off this season because like he's only ever made it past the first round of the playoffs once.
Wow.
That was on the Giants.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and that was like back in the fall of 2020.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like we're talking about that. Like, that's a long time ago now.
Mm,
So that's a whole year ago. So now you're looking at it and you're going like, okay, like could he make a run like that again with his supporting cast? Could they
mhm.
go deep? Could they go to the
Yeah.
finals? Could
Yeah.
they go to the finals?
No, for
Could they?
sure,
You
man.
know,
I know. Yeah, I like that. I'm excited
mhm,
for that. Like, I hope they do well in the
yeah,
playoffs for Dante's sake, like
hmm,
that it is his last season. Fun to see
yeah,
him go out in a good way, right? So,
yeah. I feel like there's so many stories to be written,
yes,
in this
yeah.
playoffs. I think we've got ourselves a new theme for this season because there's so many stories to be written, and when you actually look at like every team, like there is a story. For
Mm,
instance, talking about True North, it's my last season coaching True North, which is
wow.
sad. So like, there's a story to be written there with the last season coaching. We started off, we've been on a 3 game winning streak, headed towards the playoffs, clinched our playoff spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot to be said there. There's a lot to be said about the Lions because then you've got Zach. Is he gonna bring his team, to the
Mm-hmm.
finals, bring himself back into the GOAT conversation again? You've got Nathan and the Flames. There's so many stories. There's the
Yeah.
Warriors, like, can they do it for the first time after
Right.
losing?
Yes.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, there's so many stories, man, to be written this
Yeah.
season, you
No,
know?
you're right. Yeah, it is true, and yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting to see. I forgot it's your last season. I do forget that at times. So it's kind of wild to think that
Yeah,
era is ending, right? Like
it is. You
that's a
can
big
hear the
era. And
sadness in your voice.
oh, man, well, it's just like you look at it like that team. You've had that team forever, like forever,
Goodness.
man.
Yeah,
Like and
I
it
know.
wasn't like you guys started out the way you are. I
No.
mean, obviously the chemistry's been great. Like that's a
Mhm.
huge aspect to your team, and I think to the success of your team.
Yeah.
But you guys had to go through a
We
lot
had to
of
go through a
bad
lot.
seasons to make
Went through
it
a lot.
to where you are, right? To the
Mhm.
team you are. So
Yeah,
I think,
exactly.
yeah, it
Good.
is fun to have one last shot here and see if you guys can get it done, right?
Yep.
It's a hard season. It's not going to be easy for anyone to kind
No,
of, put their
exactly.
foot in the door there. So,
I know. It is. It is. When I think about it too, it is. I don't want to get my team sad right now or us losing focus and thinking about this,
mm,
but it also is a motivation, I think, too, to be like, okay, let's finish this season off strong. Let's
hmm
finish it off with the memories, that we knew that at the end of the day, this journey, this era of True North, we gave 110%,
hmm
and and we let the results fall where they may. And ultimately, we're looking at it like we're still a championship contender.
hmm
That's True North. We've been looking at this really, and I think we still got that championship pedigree. We still got the players to do it. We've been in the conversation for so long, and so to be back
hmm
there, would be just incredible. It's not easy, man. It's not easy to make it back. It's not
No,
as easy as you think to make it back.
no,
It's not easy. I mean, you look at Aiden like last season, thinking he was going to do it with the Knights, to only go up against the Warriors and have a double overtime game.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, for sure.
And like that was a season where, like, to be honest, it looked like they could have done it, but the Warriors are just like they just shut the door. They
Yeah,
shut it down. So it's crazy, man. It's so
yeah.
crazy.
No, it is crazy. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So now let's talk about MVP conversation.
yeah.
What did you thoughts?
I know.
There's a lot
I
of things to
mean,
think about.
yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, there's so much to talk about all the time, right? And just never enough time to talk about it. But I think the only part where Nathan Lanning to me just doesn't like completely fit that MVP
Mm,
conversation is like you look at a player like Aiden, he's
mm,
dominant, right?
mhm,
He's not just scoring, he's one of the most he's at the top for steals. He's up there for rebounds. Like, and so it's like not only is Aiden above him in scoring, but he's above him in every other category. That kind of makes it hard, right? If you're trying to make your case for being, I know it's because Nathan's got a team and he relies on his team to do their
it's true.
jobs, and I'm
Yeah.
so I'm not saying anything against Nathan in that area, and he comes through for his team. But I think when you talk about MVP, you kind of have to take into consideration, okay, like if that player was not there, would that team even be where they're at right
Yeah.
now? And
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
honestly say no for mine,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? But
That's
with the
100%. Yeah.
Flames, you go, they probably could pull off a few wins without Nathan, and sure enough, they did it last season in the
Yeah.
in the
I guess.
semifinals there.
I guess.
Yeah, like
Granted that Liam was injured.
yes,
This is
yeah,
true.
for sure. But like I like all I'm saying is like
Yeah.
they still have capability of winning without Nathan,
Hmm. Hmm.
and so and that's nothing against him. I think he's a great player, and I think everyone will make their vote. And obviously, maybe I'm biased, but I just it's basically like having Michael Jordan on your team. Like you're just not going to be like, well, yeah, I'm going to vote for I'm going to vote for
Yeah.
Steph Curry or
Yeah.
something. Like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not going to vote for Steph because I've got Michael Jordan on my team, right? So
Are you calling Aiden Michael Jordan and Nathan Steph?
yeah,
Ooh,
that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I think
stirring the
so.
pot a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. And what are we putting Zach as? Like that's
That's a
yeah.
great. That's a great. What would we put Zach as? That's actually interesting. Huh. That's
Now
interesting.
the other person, like who I think seriously could put his name into this.
That could be a Kobe. That could be a
Yeah,
Kobe.
I did think about that. I
Kobe.
did think he could be like a Kobe as well.
Mm-hmm.
man, as far as like MVP, Dante is actually, in my opinion, like up there as well because
Yeah,
they, like you saw the game, the Flames whooped us when I was
yeah,
helping coach the Knights without
yeah,
Dante
yeah,
there.
yeah,
You
yeah,
bring
yeah.
Dante in and they
Different
barely
team.
win, right?
Yeah,
Whole different game.
different
Dante
team.
takes
Yeah.
control of the game
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
helps them win, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I think he's really putting
That's
his
big.
name in the pot. Like he has 20
That
points per
is
game,
big.
so he's
Yeah,
six
that's
behind
big.
Aiden. But then he's
Yeah,
also got rebounds. He's also
yeah.
got steals. Like he's right
Wow.
behind Aiden for steals.
Okay. Ooh, that's hey, that's
I
a good
think
take. I like
Dante to
that. I
me
like that.
is like the next in line. Like I think if I was looking at the voting, it would be like Aiden, Dante, then Nathan.
Mm. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you?
Wow. No, honestly, you have some good points though, because and I think when I look at it, like there really is no other player right now, and it's crazy to say that all three of those players are in the same division.
Wow. Wow.
Did you think about that for
I
a
did
second?
not think about that. Yeah. Yeah.
Knights, Flames, Golden Gates, all three same division.
Wow.
And so I have to say though, I would definitely say I have to put Nathan in second. Reason being is because I've seen him climb his team out of situations
Right.
again and again and again, where it just looks like, okay, man, game's over.
Right. Right. Right.
And here he comes. It doesn't matter. He's like the confidence that he has to do it too is unbelievable. Like I don't even understand. They almost beat the Knights in that last game.
Oh
Remember the
yeah.
comeback?
Where
They
he
came
chucked
back.
that three
I
like
was like,
just from the
what
side.
in the world? Like,
Yeah.
give them another. I guarantee you, gave them another 30 seconds to a minute, and they would have won that game.
Yeah,
Like
for
that.
sure.
They just dug themselves too deep in a hole that was hard to come out of. But like
No, yeah.
the way that Nathan plays like that, like I just don't think. Like if
Mm.
I had to pick a player to give you a game-winning shot, I think
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Nathan, like he's the player that's going to do it. And with that being said, like he's also a player that's going to lead you to that win. Because even though I know the Flames might be able to get some, a lot of times if they're like a season like this, where the talent's
Yes.
so deep in the league,
Yes. Yeah.
like you look at that and you go like, that without a Nathan, I think they could miss the playoffs. A
Wow.
season like this, like I'm
Wow.
looking at a season like this, and I actually say that
Wow.
because when I look at like the caliber of teams they have to go against this season.
Mm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like they lost to the Angels.
Mm-hmm.
Angels are last season. Like, just think about it for a second, and
Yeah.
that was with Nathan,
Yeah.
you know. So you take him away, and I truly, I'm saying some hot takes right now, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I truly believe that you take him away, and this looks totally different.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
for sure. It's good. Yeah.
So
It's
yeah,
cool, man. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's MVP. What do we got next? What do we got next?
We have a lot. We're probably not gonna be able to get through all of them
Nah.
tonight. You know what I mean? We got a lot. We just gotta pick one. Why don't you pick one? Pick the next one.
Okay. What about leadership?
That's a good one. That's a good
Yeah.
one. That is a good one. Leadership this season. Wow, you got me thinking. Now I just gotta take a look here at some of the teams. So I can
Do
get
you
my brain.
think like Parker comes into that conversation?
The moment you said him, the moment I agree 100%. I agree 100%. I think it's Parker. Parker is the most. If just pay attention. I've literally just sat and watched him.
Mm.
Which, by the way, Parker, I'm proud of you, bro. If you're
Yeah.
watching this right now, I'm so proud. As your
Yeah.
former coach, I'm seeing you rise, and this is what it's all about, man.
Yeah.
CYBL, this is what it's all, and I want to see more of this. Like Parker, I've watched him. He is vocal with his team.
Yes.
He's communicating. He is leading his team. He's telling his team, hey, he's assertive, but he's kind. You know, he's telling his team, this is what I want you to be. This is where like this is what's happening. This is where you need to be. Like just hear him on the court as he talks. He's like,
Oh no, I
you
know.
know, like
Yeah.
he is literally commanding the floor for
Yeah.
his team. And I'm like, man, you're only in grade 10.
Hmm.
But like you're literally, I mean, to be honest, right now, if you had to say this is where he's rising into his prime. He's
Yeah.
rising into his prime.
Right.
It's taking some time to develop, but here he comes. And I think
Hmm.
you give him, wow, he's gonna be here for a long time. So if you give him the next few seasons, like, I mean, he could be more than an all-star. He could become a superstar.
Yeah.
Like he could be on that Nathan trajectory. Like,
Yeah.
where Nathan went from being
Oh
like
yeah.
just like a sidekick player averaging like 5 points a game, which is cool. And all if you average 5 points a game, that's key to help your team win. But he went from averaging 5 points a game to then moving up. He went from that to like 15 points. That was a huge jump. It's like 15 points a game, and he was consistently within that 15 to like 17 points per game for a number of seasons. Now he's just jumped again. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I,
Yeah.
I could see Parker doing something similar to that. I'm not saying he is Nathan, but I'm saying I could see him do something similar and
Hmm.
maybe more versatile because he's not just a scorer. Like I could see him being more versatile in this game because he is a playmaker. You know,
Hmm. Yeah.
so I think that that's a
No.
great. That's Parker is a great take for the leadership award. I'm trying to think if I can think of another one right now,
Mhm.
and I should be able to think of someone. But I mean, I guess I would put this season. I put Zach in that conversation.
Yeah. No, you're right. I actually agree with that a
Hmm.
lot. I think Zach's really transformed into more of a leader and
Hmm.
trusting his team to do their part on the thing. And I think too, just even it shows his leadership to not need to be on the ball. Like,
Hmm. Hmm.
he realizes, okay, like in our game, he realizes, okay, Aiden's gonna like locking me down.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be a decoy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he was a decoy most of the game. So that
Hmm.
Rylan had open lanes,
Yeah.
like it was
So
just
smart.
it was smart, but that's what a leader does. They don't just right. And so I think he's definitely put his name in that basket as well. It's maturity, yeah. And so I think that's why you're seeing his team in first right now because of his leadership, and he's really helped Rylan too. Because I think
Mhm.
Rylan was struggling at the start of the season, his first two games, and a few of the other guys, and or Zach hit that guy. What I'm gapping his name, that he had like 12 points against their team there, but
I'll find him.
yeah,
I'm not here for you. Lucas? Lucas.
Lucas,
Yeah,
yes, right. Like Zach was hitting him. He was being
he
aware,
was.
right? And I think when you talk about leadership, it often kind of merges a little bit with playmaker as well, because
Hmm.
a leader will make plays happen.
Make the right plays.
They'll make the right plays, right? And so I think Zach and Parker have both been doing that for their teams really well. And yeah, I think both those guys
Hmm.
definitely have their names in the hat for both those
Yeah,
those ones, right? And obviously
yeah, yeah.
Liam always does as well.
Hmm. I think you got to throw Keel in there too. Keel's been playing like that too now. I was also gonna say on the Angels, you look at Jordan Cuban.
Mm,
Jordan Cuban's got to be in that conversation as well because
mm, yeah.
he's got that leadership gene, you know.
Yes. Yeah.
So I like what I see from him also. Normally I think like there are some common players that you put in there too, like Ashton's.
Yes.
Ashton's one of
Always.
those too. Like there's some common players that are just always in the Dante's got to be in that conversation now.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
we're looking at leadership, and you're looking at both, and you just got to look at some of the. Here's another one. I want us to look at this one, and then we'll probably call it quits here in a moment
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
getting late. But what about the David Award?
Yeah. So I mean, Adamo's been playing exceptional,
Spectacular. Yeah,
and then
I got another one
who's been playing so good.
too.
He's on the Flames this season. Sorry, Landon.
Oh my goodness, yes, Landon. Landon's got to be in that
Man,
conversation for sure.
he's been
Incredible.
playing so good,
I
man.
almost think like every shot he takes is gonna go in at this point.
I know. They've been going in for him, and it's
Yeah,
just like I'm like every time I see it, I'm like, wow, it's impressive how much he's improved, right?
he's
Like
improved dramatically. When I
he's yeah, he's doing great. I mean,
it's
they've
incredible.
got yeah. So I mean, you got yeah, Landon, Adamo, and then also well, I think Kyson's above the height, isn't he?
Jackson, I think so. Above
Yeah,
5'5".
you're right.
There's
But
Carson
Jaden,
though. Oh,
oh yeah,
Jaden too.
Carson, yeah, Carson, and
Yeah.
then Jaden. Jaden's been
Mm-hmm.
playing well.
Yeah.
Jaden and Landon are both averaging the same points per game,
Mm,
but
wow.
obviously, I mean, they're like one and a half points per
Mm-hmm.
game, but Adamo's, 5 or 6, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah. Carson's
Adamo's
averaging two. Carson's averaging
Carson.
two. Carson Huey on
Oh
the
yeah,
Angels.
Carson Huey. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
really like. Yeah, he has a lot of heart, and I thought he played
Mm-hmm.
amazing last game. Like
Yeah, me
honestly,
too.
defensively. Like he was trying so hard, and he got a few steals.
Mm-hmm.
Probably didn't get awarded for them just because like obviously the guy who gets the ball gets it, but he was knocking it away back to his team. Like he was trying for rebounds, and honestly, the one time I saw it, the guy went up and Carson jumped a bit later than he did. So when he brought it
Yeah.
down, he hit it out of his hands, and I was like,
Wow.
wow. It was just smart plays like that that I was quite
Yeah.
impressed with, right?
Yeah. No, that's impressive, man. Yeah, it's good. I think I love seeing the smaller guys,
Mm-hmm.
because that's really what it's about when you have like these teams that come over, just drop my phone. These teams that just come and they play together, they come together,
Mm-hmm.
and even though you have those that are taller, because at
Yeah.
that age, you're all growing at different like
Oh
speeds
yeah.
at that age, right? So I love
Yeah.
seeing that, man, and I love
Well,
seeing.
and honestly, there's no
Hmm.
shame with being
There's
an
not at all.
exceptional, like guys. Like I'm not that tall. I'm 5'7", right?
Hmm.
And I was always short playing soccer. Played at the semi-pro level. Everyone I
Hmm.
was playing with was well over 6 feet tall. They what like I was the shortest guy. But it's about heart, right?
Hmm.
I was always a starter. I was a captain.
Yeah.
It's about giving your best, and
Hmm.
it doesn't matter your height. Obviously, basketball is a bit different, but like same with soccer. Being a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
defender, there was no defender under 6 feet tall, and I was. But it just you improve on what you can improve on. You work on what you can work on, and that's just what you do. And so I think there's no shame in it. I
Yeah.
don't feel anyone should ever feel that way, but just
No,
like you're the if you're the
that's it.
best at your height, man, that's incredible, right?
That is incredible. That is
Yeah.
incredible. I do enjoy. I love that too because to be honest, in basketball world, when I played high level basketball, like it's the same thing for me, right? Like
Hmm.
I'm 6 foot with shoes on, I'm just under 6 foot without shoes on. So
Right.
like if you think about it, you know what I mean? Playing
Yep.
at my position like that, you have to start to learn how to play with heart and with in a different way of
Yeah.
playing as you get on the higher levels. You got
Yeah.
guys in grade 9 that are like 6'9". You know what I
Oh
mean?
my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Yeah, for sure.
but yeah, it's that hard work too. It's that commitment. That's the stuff that you do behind the scenes where no one's looking too, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
and I mean, and that's the same thing with the walk spiritually too. It's the Lord. It's the things we do behind the scenes that count. It's the things that we do,
Mm,
when no one's looking. Because if we're saying, God over everything, then it's God over everything, not just when we're looking, not when people are
mm.
looking, but it's God over everything when people aren't looking too,
Yeah.
into our
Amen.
lives. And so, yeah, that's the heart, of all that
Hmm.
we do at CYBL. So just
Hmm.
want to encourage you guys with that today. And we know that, we're coming down the stretch here.
Yeah.
Playoff times come in. I don't know if we'll get another CYBL today in. It would be awesome if we do.
It would be awesome when like playoff
It
spots are
would be
locked
awesome.
in.
It would
Yeah.
be awesome if we
Even
do.
a quick one, just a quick one
Yeah,
to
even
say
just a
like
quick,
predictions,
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
good, like maybe 10 minutes, 10, 15
Yeah.
minutes. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's try to do that. Let's try to
Yeah.
get one for the fans. Give them a
Yeah.
10 or 15 minute CYBL today
Mm.
podcast. And yeah, but yeah, we love you guys. Any last comments from you, bro?
No, I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. It was fun.
Yeah, guys. Take care. God bless. And remember to put God over everything.